to get going with tonight. So that being said, without further ado, I'm going to take just a moment on my end, and then I'll meet you guys in that comfortable starting position. All right, there we go, there we go. Fabulous. Bring on down so I can see you guys. Okay, so starting off as usual with our initial scan of the body, just kind of settling in to that initial range of motion as we take that scan of the body, noticing without any judgment how you're feeling this evening, moving from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. And then take that scan, that's just how you're feeling, where those points of tension are, where those places are that could use that little bit of extra attention and care this evening as we get started. So maybe that's where that initial range of motion comes from. And also those places that maybe feel particularly good. As you complete that scan, going into that initial range of motion that's going to feel best for you. So if that tension's maybe in the lower back, you find a spinal twist, a lateral stretch, a cat and cow. If it's through the core, maybe you find that seated front to back range of motion. Maybe it's a shoulder stretch, maybe it's a forward fold. Whatever is going to feel good for you, any of those initial ranges of motion. Maybe it's a child's pose to Cobra, maybe it's a standing spinal twist, whatever's going to work for you. We'll take about 4 more nice deep breaths in that initial range of motion just to get started with, and then we will get going. We will get fabulous. Taking 2 final nice deep breaths in that initial range of motion, and then go ahead and make your way to your comfortable seated position as soon as you finish out those last maybe 2 directions, maybe 2 breaths in that initial stretch or range of motion. And then bringing it over, like I said, to that comfortable seat. So as always, that can be legs crossed, legs out long, knees bent, feet planted. Take a moment and just take that scan of the body again, relaxing the shoulders nice and low away from the ears, thinking for just a moment about that good posture, keeping the head nice and long up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go right into that roll of the head and the neck. So that first big inhale finds that nice long spine. That exhale drops the chin to the chest. From here, we're going to roll the head side to side. Right ear towards that right shoulder, lengthening through the left side of the neck. Nice stretch. You can always reach that left hand down towards the floor. And then bringing it side to side at that pace that feels good for you. Chin to chest down the center, and then left ear to left shoulder. Again, maybe you reach that right hand down towards the floor. And then just go ahead, find that range of motion side to side, nice. Couple nice deep breaths here. As always, you can take it a little bit more intense by looking up a little bit further, a little bit less intense by keeping the head a little bit closer towards the shoulder. Let's take one more time in each direction here. And then with that next exhale, we'll go ahead and drop that chin back to the chest. And then that inhale lifts the head back up nice and long away from center. From there, we're going to go into those lateral stretches. So that next big inhale takes those arms out and up. Nice and long away from center. Nice big stretch towards the ceiling first and foremost. And then that next exhale takes that right hand down towards the mat. That left arm up over top for that nice big stretch from fingertips to hips. Big inhale pulls us up through center. Nice long arms again. And then exhale down in that second direction. From there, go ahead and move at that pace that feels good for you. Again, you can move a little faster or slower than I am if that feels good. Maybe that hold is a little bit better for you to get started with this evening. Or maybe getting it moving, that more active range of motion is better for you. And we'll take about 4 more nice deep breaths here. Nice and easy in that side to side. And finishing out with those 2 nice deep breaths. So maybe that's 1 more time in each direction. When you finish that, we'll go ahead and circle those arms back down and around, and we'll go right into some shoulder rolls. So that last inhale takes those arms up. That exhale brings them down and around, and then just some nice big shoulder circles up towards the ears, down and back, or down into the front. We'll hit a little bit of plank work this evening and some downward facing dog, a couple push-ups. So getting the shoulders ready to go. One more circle in this first direction and then switch it up. Same thing other way. Excellent, fabulous. One more circle in the second direction, and then relax those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. Two more warm-up stretches. We've got our spinal twist, and then we'll do just a brief little lower body before we move into our flow. So for our spinal twist, that first inhale either takes those arms up or just finds that nice long spine. That exhale turns those shoulders towards that first side. If those arms are up, they come down and around. If not, bringing that opposite arm to the outside of that knee, same side arm around behind the back. And then same as before, we'll just go ahead at your own pace. Those inhales pulling you through center. Again, arms can come high or they can stay low and trace across the knees. Exhale brings you in that second direction. Then just go ahead and find that nice, easy side to side, nice stretch through the spine. A little more pressure in those legs gives you a little bit more of a stretch. A little less pressure gives you a little bit less. Fabulous. And we'll take about four more nice deep breaths here again. So maybe twice more in each direction. Finish now. This one. Two more breaths, last time each way. When you finish that last one out, that inhale brings us up to center, and then either releasing those arms down around or just relaxing the shoulders nice and low away from the ears. We're just going to take it into our lower body stretch to finish this out. I'm going to keep that right leg folded in. I'm going to take that left leg out long, and we're just going to come into a gentle forward fold. So finding that inhale to your long spine, starting your range of motion with your long spine, so hinging forward at the hips. When you get to the edge of that range of motion, you can choose to stay there, or you can exhale and just kind of relax the spine, find that stretch through the lower back, find that nice stretch to the shoulders, reaching out towards the shin, the ankle, the toes, wherever you can reach, wherever you can find that nice stretch. Fabulous. With that next inhale, we're just going to go ahead and switch it up. So bringing it up to that long spine, folding that left foot in, taking that right leg out long, and same exact thing. Find your nice long spine at the top. Hinge forward at those hips, taking out as far as you can when you hit the edge of that range of motion. You can stay there. You can release into it, relaxing the spine, finding that nice stretch through the lower back. Maybe a nice stretch through the shoulders. Fabulous. With that next inhale, go ahead and roll it back up to that nice long spine. We're going to make our transition and start over at hands and knees for our flow this evening. So as always, as you make that transition, if there's any final range of motion that's going to feel good, we will start with our cat and cow. Or if you need a sip of your water or other beverage, that's fabulous. We do get to hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then we'll go right into that nice, easy cat and cow. Inhale, taking the belly towards the floor, lifting those hips. Exhale, rounding the spine up towards the ceiling and tucking the chin in towards the chest. So just that nice, easy two direction with the spine, finding that stretch, getting it going right there. And take your time if you wanted to stop and grab that sip or find any additional range of motion. Just joining us in this cat and cow whenever you're ready. We're going to get a little bit of hip and glute work in today. We're going to do 3 pulses, and we're going to hold at the top for 3 counts for each of those. So we've got 2 different exercises, and we'll do it on both sides. Give me one more nice deep breath in this cat and cow. When you finish that last nice deep breath, then just go ahead and bring that spine back to our nice neutral, nice long spine, making sure, again, knees are under hips, wrists are under shoulders. And we're going to go into a fire hydrant range of motion to get us started. So like I said, we're going to do 3 lifts, And on the third, at the top, we're going to hold for a 3 count. We're going to do that 3 times through, and then we'll move to the other side. So our fire hydrant keeps our knee bent at our 90 degrees. We're going to lift it out to the side just through your range of motion, and then bring it back down. So there's my first one. If you didn't get that one, go ahead and take it, and then we'll go for 2 more. At the top of that third one, I want you to hold. We're going to hold for a 3 count. So when it gets to the top of your range of motion, we've got 3, 2, 1, and then we lower back down. We're going to do that twice more for a total of 3. If you're going a little faster or slower, feel free to keep moving at your pace. So we've got 3 lifts. On the third, we've got that 3 count hold. 3, 2, 1, and then that third time through. Again, kind of count it out for yourself if we're moving a little bit different of a pace. This is my third lift, my third time through, and that 3 count hold. When you finish that first side, we're going to just go ahead and switch it up and do that same thing, that fire hydrant on that second side. So again, opposite side, we've got that 3 lift and then that 3 count hold 3 times through. So that first, second, and on that third, we've got that 3, 2, 1, and then twice more through. Keeping it moving at your own pace there. Taking it out to the side. And that 3 count hold. If you're getting a little bit of a cramp or a little bit of resistance there, feel free to give yourself that little break, pressing back into that child's pose momentarily to release it. I'm hitting my third lift on my third time through here, and then taking it down. We've got that same organization for a little bit more glute activation. If you need a little break, if you're cramping, sink it. And then as soon as you're ready, again, 3 times through, 3 lifts, 3 count hold. This time we're just going to take it up to the back. So keeping that knee bent at our 90, we've got our 1, our 2, and then our 3, and then that 3 count hold. So same thing, holding it up, squeezing through that glute, and then bringing it back down. When you do this one, I want you to think a little bit more about your lower back as well, making sure that we're just lifting through the glute and hips range of motion and not giving any extra space on that lower back. So again, both sides, as soon as you finish that third time through, go ahead and switch to that second leg. Excellent, excellent. Again, making sure that you're keeping that core active here, keeping the lower back nice and strong. So we're not compromising the position of the lower back just to get a little bit more lift. Just want to squeeze through the glute there. And I'm on my third time. Here's my third lift on the second side with that 3 count hold, and then lowering it down. When you're done with that last time, go ahead and just sink those hips back just gently, giving those wrists just a tiny little break, giving those hips a little break, and we will move it on. Excellent, excellent. All right, let's bring it back to hands and knees. We're gonna start with that right leg moving here. So I'm going to take that right foot, circle it around, and we're gonna bring it around to our low lunge. So taking just a moment in that low lunge, you can sink into it a little bit more. You can set it up a little bit taller, turn those hips underneath and press it forward. Just for that nice hip flexor stretch. 2 options as we change our positioning. We're going to take it up to our crescent. You can plant those hands, curl the toe under, lift it up, and then sweep the arms. Or you can start with that tall torso, keep the core active, lift the arms, curl the toe under, and press it up. Either way, I want you to go ahead and meet me in that crescent lunge. That right knee is bent, that left leg is back nice and long. We've got that stretch through that hip flexor. We're going to do a knee repeater here. So we're going to take our weight over that right leg, that front leg, and we're going to pull that knee in towards center with our elbows coming in as well. Try and find a little hold, keep this controlled, and then extend back out. You can tap those toes down or you can float for more challenge. We're doing 3. So there was our first, taking it back in for that second, and then back in for that third. When you finish it out, set those left toes down, lengthen that torso. Nice. We're going to take it out to our warrior 2 up next. So from that crescent lunge, left leg is back long, left heel turns down, arms open up nice and wide. Warrior 2. Excellent. Go ahead and flip that front palm, lift it up and back, peaceful. And then go ahead and bring it back out to that warrior 2. We're sweeping it up to our crescent. Left arm sweeps forward, left heel lifts, little transition. We're taking it into our chair up next. So again, taking that weight over that right foot, I want you to slide that left foot in, plant it down right into that chair. A little bit of work for the lower body. Forward fold, fingertips towards the toes, hips up. Nice. Bend those knees, plant those hands, step it back to our plank. Step it all the way back to that plank. Nice. Okay, this plank can be right here for this little hold, or if you need a little extra help here, those knees can be down as long as we've got that long line from the knees to the shoulders or the heels to the shoulders. We're going to do 4 mountain climbers and 2 push-ups. Keep our mountain climbers super slow and controlled. Right knee right underneath towards those elbows and extend back out. Same thing, left knee, and then we've got 1 more on each side. Right knee nice and controlled, and then left knee. When you get back out to that high push-up plank, toes or knees, 2 full push-ups. Down and back up, chest almost all the way to the floor, exhale presses us up. When you finish that, we're taking it to our downward facing dog. Go ahead and press those hips up and back. Nice little stretch for the calves, for the hamstrings. Nice, child's pose, knees wide, hips towards the heels. We're taking it forward for our Cobra. So hips come forward, knees come underneath those hips as they turn under. We've got that Cobra or that baby Cobra if the lower back needs a little bit more of a break here. Fabulous. We're taking it back to hands and knees for our cat and cow. We're going to do 2. So just bringing those hips right over top of those knees, adjust those hands to cat and cow. So 2 nice deep breaths there in that cat and cow. When you finish that, bring that spine back to nice and long. We're back to those fire hydrants. 3 sets, 3 lifts, 3 count, hold. Starting with that first side, go ahead and move at your own pace here. We've got that 1, 2, and 3, and then our 3, 2, and 1. 3 times on each side here. Excellent, excellent. I'm going into my 3rd round here on this first side. As always, if you're moving a little faster or slower, that's totally fine. Moving right to those fire hydrants on that second side when you're finished with that first side. Nice, looking good, looking good. Keep it going, keep it going. Nice, that 3rd round on that second side. And then when you finish that 3rd round on that second side, we've got those glute extensions. So this time extending it back instead of to the side. Keeping that knee bent at that 90 still. Squeezing through the glute when you get to the top. And again, don't sacrifice the lower back for a little bit more of a lift. I want you to keep the spine long and the core engaged. Same thing, 3 lifts, 3 count hold, 3 times through. Looking good, you guys. Here's my 3rd on that first side for those glute extensions. When you finish that first side out, hit that second. Nice. Next time we move through, we're going to take this a lot shorter, a lot less reps. So finishing these out strong, as this is our last full set of these. When you finish that second side, that 3rd time, go ahead and just give those wrists a little break. Sink it back, hips towards the heels. Just a nice little stretch for the lower back. And then we're going to take it to that low lunge. This time that left leg is going to step forward. So we're coming up through that hands and knees, stepping that left leg forward. Again, you can sink into it by placing those hands to the inside of that left foot, or you can sit it up a little taller, turn those hips under, and press those hips forward. Nice, all right. Same 2 options to take us up to our crescent. Hands can plant, and then we can lift and sweep up, or from right here, lifting those arms, curling that right toe under, and lifting it up into our crescent lunge. A little bit more challenging on that balance in that front leg. Either is fabulous. Knee repeater 3 times, nice and slow and controlled. Weight over that left foot. Find your balance if you can. knee and elbows come together, and then we extend. Again, you can tap those toes down or keep them lifted for more challenge. I want this to be nice and slow because it is only 3 reps here. When you finish that 3rd rep, right toes down, torso lifts, and then we're taking it into that warrior 2. Right heel down, arms open. Peaceful, flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Back out to center, warrior 2. Right arm sweeps forward, right heel lifts, back to crescent. Into chair, weight over that left foot, slide or step that right foot forward, bend both of those knees, sink those hips down, try and keep that lower back nice and long. Nicely done, forward fold, fingertips down, hips up. All right, here's where we're taking it back to that plank or that modified plank. So go ahead and bend those knees, plant those hands, step it back nice and long. We're in that high push-up plank position. Again, those knees can rest down. As long as we keep that long line from those knees to the shoulders, it's still a good challenge, still a good plank. Excellent. We've got our 4 super slow and controlled mountain climbers, followed by our 2 push-ups. So twice on each side, knee pulls under towards those elbows, keeping that core engaged as you bring it in and send it back out. When you finish those 2 push-ups, keep that form good. I want that whole range of motion. So toes or knees for those push-ups. When you finish those out, downward facing dog. Hips up and back, little stretch, pressing those heels down. Child's pose, knees wide, hips towards the heels. Cobra, baby cobra. Hips forward, nice little stretch. Excellent, hands and knees. Opportunity here, you can take it into that cat and cow immediately, or if you would like, you can stop, grab a sip, find any range of motion that might feel good for you. So if you need a little drink, need a little break, here is the perfect opportunity for it. If not, into that cat and cow, or maybe your child's pose to cobra a few more times if that would feel good for you. Thinking about 3 more nice deep breaths here. Excellent, excellent. Making your way back to that hands and knees. We've got the same movements coming up, but we're going to change the reps up a little bit. We're going to change up that speed just a little bit. I need a little less explanation now that we've been through it once. So hopefully I'll convince myself to talk a little bit less and we can move a little bit more. So we're going to start with 1 cat and cow. Nice deep breath. Inhale, belly towards the floor. Exhale, spine towards the ceiling. We're doing 2 sets of our fire hydrants and glute extensions. Spine long, 2 sets, 3 lifts, 3 count, hold still. Just 2 sets this time instead of 3. Still doing both sides. Getting those glutes working, getting those hips working, protecting those knees by building those stabilizer muscles. When you finish that first side, switching right up to that second, I did extra reps because I don't know how to count and talk at the same time. Fatal flaw. When you finish those 2 sets on each side, right into that glute extension, 2 sets on each side. Still our 3 lifts and our 3 count hold. Excellent work. When you finish that second side for that second round, feel free to take it back into that child's pose. And then we're going to take it up to that low lunge. So if you're just finishing up those glute extensions, go ahead and take that right foot and just sweep it forward. If you pressed it back to that child's pose, go ahead and make that readjustment, hands and knees, and then go ahead and step it forward. We're in that low lunge. Nice. All right, from here, we're going to take it up to our crescent. So you've got those same 2 options. Curl that toe under, lift it up. When you get there, knee repeater comes up next. Weight over that right foot with 3. I still want it to be super slow and controlled, so find your balance if you can, but we've still just got 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, One, when you set those toes down, find that long torso. And then we're taking it into warrior two. Arms down, heel down, peaceful. Flip the front, lift it up. Back out to warrior two. Crescent, left arm sweeps, left heel lifts. Weight on that right foot, chair. Sweep that left leg forward to meet the right. Sink those hips back, bend those knees, keep that spine long. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips towards the toes. Transitioning to our plank, bend the knees, plant the hands, step those feet back nice and long. High push-up plank position. Excellent. 4 mountain climbers followed by 2 or 3 push-ups, depending on how those push-ups are going for you. Still keeping those mountain climbers slow and controlled for 4, 2 on each side. When you finish those out, 2 to 3 push-ups. When you finish those 2 or 3 push-ups, downward facing dog. Which takes us to child's pose, knees wide, hips towards the heels. Which takes us to Cobra or baby Cobra, hips forward. Hands and knees for a single cat and cow. Hips over those knees, adjust those hands if you need to. Inhale, belly towards the floor. Exhale, spine towards the ceiling. Taking that spine back to neutral. 1 time through on each side for this one. So 3 lifts and that 3 count hold for that fire hydrant. Out to the side, 3 lifts, 3 count hold, and then switch. So just once on each side for this one. When you finish those fire hydrants, go right into those glute extensions. Still that knee is at our 90. Still our 3 lifts, 3 count hold. 1 time for those as well. A little squeeze through those glutes. Looking good, you guys. Nice work, nice work. When you finish that second side, option to take it back to that child's pose if those wrists need a little break. And then we're going to take it into that low lunge where our left leg is going to step forward this time. So bringing it through that hands and knees, left leg steps forward again. You can keep it low or you can bring it a little bit higher. And we're going to take that transition to our crescent. You've got those 2 options. Hands can start down, curl the toe under, and then sweep up, or that long torso, curl the right toe under, and then sweep it up to crescent. Knee repeaters, taking our weight over that left foot, that front foot. Right knee comes in towards center. 3 of them, keep them controlled. Finding your balance and extending back out. When you finish those last 2, step it back into that crescent lunge once again. Nice long torso. When you get to that crescent lunge, then we're into our warrior 2. Right heel turns down, arms open. Peaceful, flips our front palm, lifts it up and back. Back out to our warrior 2. Fingertips nice and long, left knee still bent. Sweep that right hand forward, lift that right heel, crescent. We're going to slide or step it forward into our chair. So weight over that left foot, just like our knee repeater, but this time that right foot's going to plant next to it. Chair pose, nice. Working on that transition, that's a tough one, from that crescent to our chair or from our chair to our crescent. Let's take it to our forward fold. Fingertips down, hips up. Transition to that plank. Bend those knees, plant those hands, step those feet back nice and long. When you get to that plank, shoulder blades are pulled apart. Hips stay nice and low, but that lower back doesn't cave down towards the floor. 4 mountain climbers, 2 or 3 push-ups. Here we go, nice and controlled on those mountain climbers. Maybe a little pause while that knee is underneath. When you finish those 4, 2 to 3 push-ups. 2 to 3 push-ups, toes or knees, full range of motion. Looking good, you guys. When you finish those push-ups, downward facing dog. Give the shoulders, that chest a little stretch. Knees wide, hips towards the heels, child's pose. Hips forward, Cobra or baby Cobra. Nice long arms if you're in that full Cobra. A little bend to those elbows if that lower back needs a little bit of a break. Maybe you're in Sphinx with those elbows down. Excellent. Taking it back to hands and knees. Again, another opportunity, very brief if you'd like a sip, if you need a range of motion. If not, go ahead right into that cat and cow. Right into that cat and cow. Excellent. If you did take that sip, go ahead and bring it back over to hands and knees. One more breath at that cat and cow when you're done there. When you finish that cat and cow, nice long spine. One more time through with that glute work, that fire hydrant. One time on each side for each exercise. Still that 3 count with our 3 count hold. So 3 lifts and that 3 count hold once on each side for each exercise. Right into that glute extension. Good, squeezing through those glutes, not sacrificing that lower back, so keeping our core nice and active here. When you finish that out, you can take it back to child's pose or keep it at hands and knees. Nice, let's take it to our low lunge, right side. So through that hands and knees, sweeping that right leg forward. Again, you can keep it low or you can bring it a little higher. Fabulous, we're taking it into our crescent. Hands can start down and then sweep up, or hands can start up and you can challenge that balance a little bit, either way. Crescent. Good, when you get to that long torso, engage that core. 3 knee repeaters, final time on this side. Weight over that right foot, knee and elbows in towards center. Again, you can tap down with each, or you can float a little bit more, so almost like that single leg RDL. Kind of range of motion. When you finish that out, tap those left toes back down, find that long torso. It just started pouring outside again. Oh man. All right, warrior 2, when you get it there, left heel turns down, arms open. Flip that front palm, lift it up, back peaceful. Back out to that warrior 2, which will sweep forward to our crescent. Left arm sweeps forward, left heel lifts, nice long torso. A little bit of a challenging transition there. Not one we work on a lot. We usually do the opposite. Excellent. Into that chair. Weight over that right foot. Slide or step that left foot forward. It's going to plant down next to the right. Excellent. Forward fold. Fingertips towards the toes. Nice. All right, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to take it from here into our low lunge with that left foot forward. So I'm going to take that right foot, step it back nice and long, send that right knee to the mat. We're in our low lunge to get us started here. So our second side, left leg is forward. Again, you can be low, you can be halfway up, evening up here. All right, we're transitioning to that crescent. So hands can start down or hands can start up. Either way, curl the right toe under, lift the right knee, find that long torso at the top. Last time with this exercise, 3 knee repeaters. Weight over that left foot, knee in towards center, find your balance, find your core. Float those toes or step them back with each rep. Either way, engage your core when you come in towards center. When you finish that last one out, step those right toes back down, find that nice long torso. Excellent, excellent. Warrior 2, right heel turns down, arms open. Peaceful, flips the front palm, lifts us up and back. Nice stretch. Back out to center, warrior 2. Back to our crescent. Right arm sweeps forward, right heel lifts. Adjusting those hips a little bit. Nicely done, nicely done. Here we go back to our last chair. Weight over that left foot, step that right foot forward to meet it. Bend those knees, sink those hips back. Nice long arms, nice long spine. Keep your core engaged here. One more big exhale. Can you get another centimeter a little bit deeper into that chair? Big inhale. And that exhale takes us to our forward fold, fingertips towards the toes, nice little stretch. Find a little bit of core work from our plank here. Bend the knees, plant those hands, step those feet back nice and long. High push-up plank position, 4 mountain climbers, 2 to 3 push-ups. Last time, nice and slow and controlled on those 4 mountain climbers. You guys are doing awesome. Finish strong with me here. We're almost there. Last little challenge when you finish those 4, 2 or 3 push-ups, toes or knees. Full range of motion for me. Make them your best push-ups of the night. When you finish that out, downward facing dog. Hips up and back, nice little stretch for the chest. Knees wide, hips towards the heels, child's pose. Child's pose, little stretch for the lower back, maybe for those glutes. Let that core release. If it feels good, you can walk those hands over the right side of that mat, finding a little bit of extra length through the left side of the body. Fabulous. And if you found that right side, go ahead and walk them through center over to the left. Nice little stretch through the right side. And if you found that left side, go ahead and bring them back to center. Taking just a moment to make that transition one final time up to that Cobra or Sphinx. So Cobra has those palms planted, Sphinx has those elbows planted. Excellent. Final transition is going to take us back up to that downward facing dog. So planting those palms if you're down in Sphinx, activate the core, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Shaking the head nice and slow, yes or no, just to release the neck. Maybe pedaling out those heels while you do so. Two options to take us to our forward fold. You can walk the hands back to the feet, or you can walk the feet forward to the hands. Either way, transferring our weight to those feet, finding that nice forward fold, that nice stretch. Vertebrae by vertebrae, I want you to go ahead nice and slow and roll it up, starting with those hips. Then hitting that lower back, mid back, shoulder blades, upper back, neck. Take the arms up overhead, extended mountain, nice big stretch. Lateral stretch once each way, right hand down, left arm up. Through center, second side. Up to center. Palms meet up overhead. Hands down to heart center with that exhale. Fabulous work tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on this Wednesday evening. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. The light in me honors the light in you, bowing as we say namaste.